we're going to use AI today to collect the most searched questions on the internet associated with the royal family. All right, how does the royal family work is the next question that's highly searched. And I believe this translates to what is their exact position today? Are they more of a mascot than a powerful presence? What is your take on how, I mean, how do you translate that question? How does the royal family work?
I think it works in three ways. One is constitutionally, that is to say that without the sovereign, there is no legitimacy to any law passed, because the last thing, when a bill goes through Parliament, it becomes an act. The very last thing said and written on it is, in Norman French, le roi se veut, the king wills it. Or when it was Queen Elizabeth II, la reine se veut. So without the assent of the monarch, there is no law. And in the court system, it is the crown versus whoever is, when it's not a case of two people bringing suits against each other. In a criminal trial, it is the crown versus whoever is the defendant. Every aspect of our legal system, for instance, the most highly qualified and most highly respected barristers, what you would call an attorney, an advocate, attorney at law, are King's Counsel. They represent the crown against, in criminal cases against malefactors.
Oh, and just to interrupt you quickly, so when Prince Harry is taking people to court, is he up against people representing the king?
No, because those are civil suits.
Okay.
If there were a criminal trial, for instance, if someone were put on trial for hacking a phone or stealing some of their data, then it would be the Crown versus, say, Mr. Smith or Mr. Jones. And so if the Duke of Sussex were called to give evidence, he would, in essence, be giving evidence to representatives of his father.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, which is why royal participation in criminal trials is not terribly often encouraged.
Yeah, frowned upon.
There might be considered to be a conflict of interest there. So yeah, we have the constitutional aspect. We have the religious aspect, because as I mentioned earlier, the sovereign is the supreme governor of the Church of England, has been ever since Henry VIII, because we have an established church, a church by law established. And the three parts of our constitution are the crown, the church, and parliament, that tripartite system, which is why, for instance, we have bishops in the House of Lords, which strikes some people, not only from other countries, but some people here, as bizarre, but it is a natural corollary of having an established church. Bishops are not only religious figures, they are lawmakers. And then the third element of the what does the royal family do, how does it work, I think, is what you might call the soft power. So at home and abroad, let's go from the top. They are patrons of charities, dozens and dozens and dozens, probably in total for all of the royal family, hundreds of charities. And they are patrons of educational bodies, and they give royal warrants to commercial bodies. They go around opening hospital wings and wards and schools and summer fetes and military exhibitions. They're constantly on the move, doing things in the public eye. And of course, they go abroad as ambassadors of this country, as representatives abroad of the best of Britain, in which capacity I think they probably do some of their most important work, particularly in the Commonwealth, where many of the Commonwealth nations are former colonies of the British Empire. And of course, that brings with it its own complications and political touch points. But I think the fact that the Commonwealth is so closely associated with the late Queen and now the King, and that members of the royal family go to the Commonwealth very often in order to be, as it were, ambassadors from the sovereign to the Commonwealth, I think is an extremely strong instance of the soft power that the royal family has. And you could say that, well, part of that soft power is their cultural leadership. When Prince George, Prince Louis, Princess Charlotte come out into public, within a day there will be a piece in, say, the Daily Mail or some other newspaper about what they've been wearing, and one of the high street shops will have a range of that sort very quickly, and people who like it will go out and dress their children in the same way. Similarly, when the now the Princess of Wales, formerly Duchess of Cambridge, her outfits were copied by the high street instantaneously.
Right.
So there is a sort of, as it were, a cultural power there. I'm not sure it's anywhere nearly as strong as it would have been even 50 years ago, never mind 100 years ago, but it's certainly still there. If for Middle England, the royal family remains an incredibly important part of their worldview and of the way they see the country.